Hello, my friend. Oh, turn microphone, please. Microphone on the left.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hel- Hello, my friend.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Oh, I am very glad to see you. It's good,
Oh man.
it's good that we can record interviews from almost anywhere in the world. I am
Yeah, exactly.
from Ukraine. You are from
Okay.
Los Angeles, LA. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it's a really, really good time. Let's enjoy this interview. You can
Okay.
you can say whatever you think. It's a good time.
Okay.
Let me introduce you to our esteemed audience.
Okay.
Today, on Boxing on Sundays, we are joined by Keith Cooper Jr., a dedicated American boxer competing in the middleweight division and representing the fighting spirit of the United States. Known for combining offensive pressure with defensive awareness, Kid has been building his career through hard work, discipline, and countless hours in the gym. Fighting under the banner of Premier Fight Club, he continues to sharpen his skills while pursuing bigger opportunities in professional boxing. In this interview, we will discuss his entire boxing journey, from his first steps in the sports and amateur experience to training camps, fighting style, career goals, and ambitions for the future. Kit, can you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us where you grew up?
Hey, yes. My name is Keith Cooper. Um, Keith Cooper Jr. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, South Central, South side of Los Angeles, California, over off of 118th and Avalon and San Pedro area. That's where I grew up at. Moved around a lot as a kid, but that's where I'm originally from, Los Angeles, California, South Central.
How old were you when you first discovered boxing?
Well, I first discovered boxing very young. I remember watching guys like Mike Tyson and watching Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and Muhammad Ali. Um, but boxing came later, because I was always athletic. I first started playing sports when I was 6 years old, and that was playing t-ball. And all the way up to now, I've been very athletic, man, for a whole decade.
What was your childhood like before boxing entered your life?
My childhood was like every other kid's. I was outside playing a lot, um, playing with different kids. I grew up in a two-parent household. I had my father there and my mother there. My childhood was very normal. Um, I come from very strict parents. My mother, she was more strict on me than my sister. My father, he was the one man that actually put me in sports. So like from 6 years old, that's all I ever did was just play sports. And my father, he was my first coach. So like he was the one man that pretty much put me in sports at a very early age because he was athletic. He ran track for like high school, and he played football and he played baseball. So I come from a very background family of of athletics. On my father's side, that's all they ever did was just play sports. I had an uncle that played baseball. I had a older cousin that was in the a bodybuilding competition. I have another cousin on the Cooper side who was a basketball coach, and I have another brother who played football, and the youngest one that boxes now. And so I come from a very, very athletic family. So my childhood was just very normal.
Wow, it's very interesting to listen to you. You tell a very good story. I like it.
Yeah.
What inspired you to walk into a boxing gym for the first time?
The first time I walked into a boxing gym was with my older cousin. Yeah, with my older cousin. His name was Cedric, and and then his brother was, well, both my cousins. One name was Cedric, who was the oldest one, and his younger cousin, who his younger brother, Andre. They was both into boxing, so they invited me to come with them to the boxing gym that was off of Broadway. It was an old gym, legendary gym off of Broadway and Imperial, that all the legendary boxers had went to, from Sugar Ray Leonard on up, and they was the ones that was really boxing. Me, on the other hand, was really too interested in boxing. I would just watch them box and everything like that. But my very, very first time going into the boxing gym was real late for me. So it was like around 27 years old. So when I first went to the boxing gym, first thing came to my mind was hot. It was real hot in the boxing gym, and it was real hot and stuffy. And I was like, man, this is hot in here. But then, like, when I first got into it, when I first walked in, I didn't knew right away where I was. I didn't knew right away then, but I knew that I had something going on with boxing when I first walked into the gym. I saw everybody boxing, putting on boxing gloves. I saw all the kids there, and it seemed like it was really, really a joyful moment just being in there for the first time.
Wow, you are very hardworking. You are the future of boxing.
Yes.
Do you remember your very first training session?
My very first training session was with well, he's my coach now to this day, named Ron Porter. Um, he was the one that pretty much taught me the fundamentals of boxing. He was the one that taught me how to really, really box. So my first training session, it was uh it was kind of difficult, but like he just turned me into a real, real prolific boxer. So the first training session was kind of hard because he taught me the fundamentals, how to throw a 1-2, how to throw a jab. The jab, man, was very, very important, which he taught me how to throw. And we stayed in the gym, man, like for a whole hour of him just focusing on boxing. Taught me how to jab, use footworks, fundamental, use head movement. But all that came later. But the first time, the first session, that's all we ever worked on was 1-2s and jab jabs, 1-2s and jab jab until I got it right. And first thing he said to me was that you're pretty fast. And that's when he knew that, he had something going on with me. So that was my first time with the whole boxing session.
Uh, your jab is very fast. You are a great job jab. Jab, 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 jab. Cool.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You mentioned about Ali, Mike Tyson. Who were your biggest influences during your early years in boxing? Who was number one for you in the world of boxing?
Salvador Sanchez was the number one. Salvador Sanchez. What I liked about Salvador Sanchez was his footwork, and he was a small guy. I think coming from featherweight or lightweight. But like one thing I liked about Salvador Sanchez was that he was he was very athletic, and he had real good footwork, and he could knock you out anytime that he wanted to. But he was the type of guy, man, where he would just punish you throughout all 12 rounds until he felt like knocking you out. So Salvador Sanchez, man, was my number one guy right there. That he don't really get mentioned, talked about as much in the boxing world. All the guys that everybody mentioned was Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, but no, Salvador Sanchez was the one. And Pernell Whitaker. Pernell Whitaker was the one as well. Just his whole defense, the way he moved around the ring, the way that he'll pick guys apart with his southpaw position. And I have to say Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and James Toney.
Wow. I saw your story on Instagram. If Salvador Sanchez hadn't that, he would have achieved more than Saul Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right. If Salvador Sanchez, well, hadn't got to the car accident, if he was alive to this day, then yes, he'll be the face of Mexico. Uh, he'll be right up there, man, with he'll be right up there, man, with Cesar Chavez and Marquez and all those guys.
You overcome many obstacles on your way. What challenges did you face when starting out?
Challenges I faced when I first starting out was I would say the challenges I first faced, man, was just like I would say understanding boxing. I would say trying to understand the science of it. And my coach, and I would talk to my coach about it. I would tell him that, it's difficult starting out trying to understand the re-IQ and understanding the whole science behind it and everything. And then he would just tell me it takes time, it takes patience. And he would tell me too, my coach would tell me that it would take a fighter a very long time, many years, is to find out, man, what he really wants to do, who he is, be comfortable in his own skin. So the challenges, those are the ones I had to face really, like what type of fighter am I? Am I this type of fighter? Am I that type of fighter? Just trying to figure out, man, who am I as a fighter? So those are challenges that I had to face. And far as money wise too, trying to, go back and forth, man, from work to the gym. And out here in LA is very high. So just trying to come up with bills and come up with money to pay for rent and going back and forth, man, putting money in gas and just going across town just to make it to the gym. So those are the challenges I had to face.
For many, boxing is like a hobby from the beginning. Then it turns into everything for you, your whole life. No boxing, no life. When did you realize boxing could become more than just a hobby?
When I really started getting into it a lot more, when I started like becoming more dedicated to it, boxing became more of a job for me. But yes, it started off as a hobby, but the more I got into it, the more it became addictive to me. And when I got into it, the more I was like, okay, I got something here. I can make something out of this. Based off my skills and based off my discipline and based off the passion of it. I developed a passion for it, you know, and like that's when it became a lot more serious for me. Yeah, yeah, I would say.
We don't play in boxing. We can play
Nah,
American football, soccer, tennis, basketball, volleyball, but we don't
yeah,
play in boxing. Box,
exactly right.
boxing is not a game. Boxing is war and art at the same time. The
Yeah, it
art,
is.
the art of war. What lessons did boxing teach you as a young athlete?
Boxing taught me how to be more humble. Boxing taught me how to be more, not just, dedicated. Well, yeah, that too, all that plays a part. Dedication and hard work, the stuff that Floyd Mayweather talks about a lot. But boxing taught me how to be more humble with people. It taught me how to be more calmer because when I was, when I was younger, I was, I was a ticking bomb. I would always get into fights when I was younger. I was always teased as a kid, and I didn't know how to control my emotions at all. So I would always get into fights in the neighborhood. So as I got into boxing, it taught me how to be a lot more focus. It taught me to be a lot more dedicated. And it taught me to be a lot more disciplined. And it also taught me too that this is a spiritual sport and it's a gentleman's sport. So it taught me a lot of things, man, as far as boxing, and that's that's what boxing taught me, how to be more dedicated, stay away, man, from the nonsense, stay away, man, from the bad habits. That I don't drink, I don't smoke, never did, but it taught me how to be a lot more disciplined and humble at the same time. It's a humbling man sport too.
Now you have already turned into a strong and powerful boxer. You have many fans in Instagrams.
Yeah,
I'm your follower, but
yeah,
in the beginning, everything was different. No one knew about you. And
yeah.
looking back, what advice would you give your young self?
I would give myself, the young self of me, to stay patient, because back then I didn't have patience. I wanted everything to be now. And I had to learn that everything is not an overnight success. It takes time and years and a dedication and a time and hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears. So I would give myself back then, the younger me, advice that keep going, do not give up. You got to keep going. And there were times I thought about giving up, but from the grace of God, I just kept going. So I would tell my younger self to don't quit, do not give up. And it's going to pay off in the long run. And if you don't believe me, then just trust in your skills and trust in the universe. So that's what I would give myself. I would give myself a lot of advice, but those are the ones I would give.
Tell us about your amateur boxing journey. Are you satisfied with your amateur career? Was it like a springboard in professionals for you?
Amateur boxing to me, when I first started out doing amateur boxing, I have to admit the judges, because amateur boxing is all about rock and sock and robot to me. You get in there, you throw how many punches, 3 rounds, and it's all about how many points you're scoring. When I first got into amateur boxing, I had a professional type of style, but the judges didn't like it. They like for me to be amateur. I didn't know how to fight amateur. All I knew how to do was fight professional. I had a professional type of style. My coach taught me how to box professionally. He never taught me how to box amateur. So when I came into the pros, it was just like it was easy for me. But with the amateurs, it was difficult because I didn't know how to fight amateur, just professional. And a lot of judges didn't really like that. So that my amateur career was okay. Um, it was okay, but I like the pros much better than the amateurs.
What was your first amateur fight like?
My first amateur fight was very nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking. Um, Everybody was there from the U.S. Boxing Club and from everywhere. Because I fought my first amateur fought. I fought in Compton, Los Angeles, California, and it was difficult because I went in there and I fought against this one guy who I forgot his name, and he was pretty good. And when I went in there, and he beat me. He beat me, and I would say he did get the best of me. When I went in there, I did my best, but I would say this though, I learned from that loss because it taught me that you can take a loss, but you can also gain it right back by working hard. And when I took that loss from my amateur fight, that's why I became a lot more dedicated in the boxing.
The first exit to the ring is unforgettable. It's like the first kiss with a girl, just as
Yeah,
nervous.
that's right. That's right. It is. It's like when you first kiss a girl for the first time, there's nerves and and then but the more you start kissing a girl, then it becomes a lot more comfortable, kind of like everything you do in life, anything when you do in life, it's gonna be nerve-wracking for the first time. When you first start school, it's gonna be nerves. You don't know you're gonna meet friends, you don't know if people are gonna accept you for who you are. When you get hired at your first job, you don't know what it's gonna be like. Everything that you do in life is gonna be nerve-wracking. But the more you get into it, the more the more you start repeating the same cycle over and over and over and over again, the nerves are still going to be there because you never get rid of nerves. It's going to be there, but it won't. From that point on, it won't even be nerves anymore. It'll just be butterflies. But then after that, once you start doing it over and over again, it will be second to none. So you'll be just fine. So yeah,
Which amateur victory meant the most to you?
the most amateur victory means the most to me is like when I fought against this one guy. His name is Juan, and which is funny though because now he's my coach to this day. So yeah, I got him to be my coach. And that's usually how it is in the amateurs. You fight, you box against your rivals, and all of a sudden they become your coach after that. But I would say like when I fought against him, and I started using my jab a lot more. I started getting more comfortable around the ring, and then when I won that one, then that's why I was like, okay, it was like I don't know, it was like a kid at a candy store. I didn't know what to do.
What did you learn from your toughest amateur defeat?
When I learned from my first toughest defeat was I took it really hard. That's when I was like questioning myself, is boxing really it for me or not? But when I took my first defeat, it was hard, but I that's when you learn not to give up, really though, when you take your first defeat. When I lost, I was like, okay, you know, it happens in sports. Everybody take a loss. But I just kept going. But I learned from that night, don't give up. That's what I learned.
Who was the best opponent you faced in the amateurs?
The first opponent I faced in the amateurs, he was a kid. I think he was from Argentina. He was from Argentina, and he can fight. I think his name was I forgot his name, but like he had like a weird Argentina name. But I just remember because like when the announcer announces his where he was from Argentina, and he gave me my toughest amateur fight right there. And like it was a good fight. I put on a real good performance, and he did too. But like I said, he got the best of me, and like he beat me. And I don't know where that guy is at today, but if I ever see him again, I will tell him thank you, for showing me, what it's like to have a toughest fight in the amateur.
Wow, I love Argentina. I will
Yeah,
cheer for Messi at the World Cup in the United States.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. Right.
How important was amateur boxing in preparing you for the professional ranks?
It was important. It was very, very important. I would say it was important because like the amateurs is something to where it'll prepare you for the next level. And I would say when I did amateur, it that's why I knew, and my coach also knew that he was gearing me up to become professional. And so once he did that, that's how I knew we was on the right path. So amateurs is a placement where it'll just gear you up and prepare you, man, for the next level if you want to continue with the next level. So once I started, that's how I knew that okay, I know where I was going to go, and I knew I was going to do well when I get in the professional rank.
Did you have any amateur achievements that you are especially proud of?
Yeah, I have a couple of them, medals. Medals I would say that I'm very, very, very proud of. when I went to the Nationals and Golden Gloves. So like I would say like I have a few of them. Yeah. I didn't really stay in amateurs that long because I really wanted to go pro. 'Cause I had a professional type of style of fighter. And I already knew from that point on I was ready for pro anyway. I didn't want to stay in amateurs too long. And like I had read about David Benavidez, this article to where he said that he didn't really do too many amateur fights because he too knew that he was ready meant for the professionals. So I kind of like took the advice from his book, and I decided just to go professional after that.
Everyone sees your style now. Your style is amazing. But
Yeah.
but let's be honest. Few people have seen your style in amateurs. How would you describe your style during your amateurs days?
I would describe my style as a slipper as a kind of slippery, you know. Uh like I said before, one of the guys I like watching in my early years was Pernell Whitaker, and how slick he was, how the movement he would do and turn you around the ring, and you really couldn't hit him. And like Floyd Mayweather, same thing. So and James Toney. So my style is kind of a mixture between those guys to where I would stay in the pocket with you, but it would be hard to hit. You know how it is. You hit, you miss and you pay. So I would say my style then, kind of like how it is now. You know, I make you miss and then you pay. I give you that payback later.
What experiences from the amateurs still help you today?
Oh wow, man! Like it helps me today, man. As far as not taking that loss that I first took. That's what I learned from it. Yeah, not taking no more losses. That's what I learned from it. I learned how to take everything in. Um, when it came to nerves, I learned how to just to pretty much not move so fast and just take your time because amateurs is all about moving fast, but then the pros is all about timing and moving slow and everything like that. So that's why I took from the amateurs not to take no more losses from that. I kind of feed off that now. Every time I train, it's like, yeah, no more losses for me.
Kid, I think amateurs are not for you. Amateurs are not for you. You are a professional player, professional
Yeah.
boxer, a serious player, where where the stakes are big. What made you decide it was time to turn professional?
Well, when me and my coach was at the gym, and we was just at a sparring match against a heavyweight. I like going against heavyweights. And after my sparring session with the heavyweights, my coach and I got together and we sat by the ring, and he was like, "I think it's time for you to go professional. I think you're ready." And I was like, "Yeah, like I've been ready." So once we discussed about going pro, then it was like second to none for me. So that's how I knew. I've been knew I was ready for pros. I've been knew, but when him and I spoke and when we got together and we brainstormed, he was the one was like, I think you're ready. So let's just gotta, let's just go ahead and do it. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Many boxers break down during the transition from amateurs to pros. The punches are stronger, there are more rounds, there are no helmets. You
Nah.
have successfully passed this pass.
Yeah.
How different was the transition from amateur to professional boxing?
The difference was, like you said, like no headgear. Yeah, no headgear at all. The judges was a lot more pinpoint now. And that's another thing too. I didn't like the headgear, you know. So once the headgear was off, now you can see everything. So it wasn't really a big well, yeah, it was a transition because we didn't have to use headgear no more. Now we can use professional gloves now. Now we can go ahead and now we can fight. Now we can really, really, really take our time now. Not everything is so fast paced now. So the transition was very big, but I knew that I can adapt to that transition when I got into the in the professionals. So once I trans when I transcended to it, it was like I was already ready. So it came much easier for me when I first transitioned into the pros. Now I have to worry about whether the judges are going to pick me or not. Now I have to worry about none of that now. Now, the only thing I have to worry about now is going out, man, put a good performance in front of the entire world.
What were the biggest adjustment you had to make?
The biggest adjustments I have to make, the biggest adjustments I had to make was, I would have to say, um, well, I still kept the same coach, so I didn't want to make adjustments there because I just believe, you started out with your coach, you end with your coach. The biggest adjustments I had to make, far as well, in professional ranks, was just the competition. Man, was a lot more tougher now, a lot more stronger. So the adjustments I had to make, man, was like, okay, I got to go ahead and change the workouts, change the eating habits, and then like stay away from the weights. And it was it was, it was pretty good adjustments I had to make along the way. So yeah.
Do you remember your professional debut? What stands out from that night?
Oh man, nerves. Yeah, still nervous because I was like, oh wow, okay, this is pretty new right here. Oh, um, I was like, yeah, this is the big time right here. I see the cameras and everything like that, and I see people and and waiting for you, man, just to bring it. So my first time in the pros, man, it was nerve wracking, but I knew that I was ready. And when I got in there, it was like I've been here before. So when that bell rung, I was already at it.
What emotions did you experience before your first professional fight? Tell me please about your emotions.
The emotions that I had was I had to like take everything in. It was all kind of emotions. Um, it was all kind of emotions, man. Whether I was, I mean, it was nerves, butterflies, um, thinking about not losing. Am I gonna put in a good performance? It was all kind of different emotions. So I had to take time and just calm down and take it all in. And I had to keep telling myself, just go in there and put a good show in. You did this before many times. So just go in there and then do what you do. The emotion's still gonna be there. But when I got in there, when I walked that line to the ring, that's what I knew that my emotions was just in the back of me now. Only thing now I have to do is put on a good performance in front of everybody.
How did your team help you adapt to the professional level?
They helped me all kind of ways. They helped me, far as changing the workouts. They helped me far as they helped me man, far as me getting stronger. That professional night, they helped me by just saying like, you've been here before. We done the work. You done the work. You were disciplined. We did a good training camp. You did the work. They had to keep reminding me that you did the work because I was just worrying how I was going to do. But they came together and it was telling me like, you did the work. There's no need, man, to go ahead and just the only thing you have to do is just box. My coach was just telling me all you gotta do is just box. Box, use your speed and be smart and make adjustments. And that was that.
Strength of blows, gloves, number of rounds. What surprised you most about professional boxing? Money,
The surprise, what surprised me about boxing, professional boxing,
Yes.
what surprised me about professional boxing is that, you know, the people, the people, they like to see knockouts, but they also like to see the energy. And I'm an energetic fighter, so I'm a very passionate fighter. I would say that I'm more so like Kevin Garnett in that boxing ring, because I know what the people want to see. So surprisingly about the professionals to me is that, everybody come out to see you. And I never really had that before. And what surprisingly is that you get more fans to come watch you. Now they want to see who's this guy. Who is Keith Coop? Who is Keith Cooper? Let's get to see this guy. So, a lot more fans want to come watch you and want to come see you put on a good performance. And whether you lose or win, if you got true fans, they still behind you. So that's surprising to me about that.
Ooh. American and British fans are the best in the world of boxing. They are the
Yeah.
best sport.
Yeah, exactly. American fans, man, are pretty good. American fans. You also got Argentina fans. They're very, 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 very big on boxing too, and like Mexico. Just pretty much people from all over the world, man. That loves boxing. Yeah.
What goals did you set when you first become a pro?
The goals that I wanted for myself was to be recognized a lot more. I felt like the more, cause I know like a lot of times you hear professionals saying like, it's become number one and become legendary and want to win titles and belts and all that. All that stuff going to be there. My biggest thing, man, was to become recognized and get more recognition. I wanted people to come watch me. I wanted people to come see me perform. You know, I wanted to be that guy out there to where people can look at me and say, I want to do what he does, kind of like how it was meant for Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali saw Sugar Ray Robinson, he wanted to become like, not become like him, but he wanted to have the same remedy and a style like Sugar Ray Robinson. You can see that when he performed. So the recon the recognition, that's all I wanted. The recognition, the titles and all that stuff gonna be there. It's gonna come regardless. I just want to be recognized, man, for my work and what I do in the ring.
You have been through so much. Your path is outstanding. You are mentally strong. How has your mindset evolved since your debut?
My mindset evolved maturely. I became more of a mature fighter. I became more of a mature man, and I became a lot more knowledgeable. You know, I became a lot more mature in the game of boxing. Yeah, I would say that. My maturity grew on me. I would say that. Yeah. I understood the whole process of boxing. I understood the business of boxing. I understood what the business can do. I understood about pretty much the business of it. I would say I became a lot more mature within the sport of boxing.
What motivates you to keep pushing forward every day?
Well, for one, I would say my daughter. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and she lives out in Savannah, Georgia, with her mother. So that right there motivates me a lot. And I would say the people. Now I have a nice little fan base now. So when I see that, that makes me go out much even harder, because I want to build more fans. I want to build more of a fan base now. So, and I think that from the looks of it, it looks like it's happening pretty fast now. So that would motivates me to go out much more. I've always been motivated. I've always been self-motivated. That's something that my father taught me when I was a young guy, a young kid, be self-motivated, and still to this day, I motivate myself every day. I'm a very, very hard worker. I work hard. I jog at night. When I leave the boxing gym, I come back home, I rest for a minute, and when 8 o'clock at night comes, I ride out there doing road work. So it's the mentality that I have. So my motivation is I'm my walking motivation. So I would say that.
Next, we will talk about your technique. I encourage everyone to follow your Instagram. You have a very technical style. The audience should see you. I will publish a link to your Instagram under the interview in the description.
Yeah.
How would you describe your fighting style to someone who has never seen your box?
I would describe my boxing style technical. I'm a technical fighter. I'm a technical and I'm a defensive fighter. So I would describe it more technical, a wizard in the ring IQ that I have, and patience. So I would describe it as that. Very, 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 very technical. I'm a very, very technical fighter, and um, I can like adapt to anything in that ring, whether I want to become a brawler, whether I want to become.
You describe yourself as both an offensive and defensive fighter. How do you balance those two aspects?
It just comes with experience. I would say it comes with experience, and it will comes within here in the spirit. Um, I would say like yeah, it comes through the spirit. Yeah, because everything you do is spiritual. Everything you do, boxing is a very very spiritual sport, like every other sport. But boxing is the main one that is very spiritual. So to balance it, it has to come within here, and it has to come within here too. So you as a fighter have to know how to balance it and how to use your balance. So, but main thing I would say it will comes within here.
What do you consider your greatest strengths inside the ring?
My greatest. Oh man, I would just have to say my greatest is shoot, man. Oh wow. Shoot, I have to say, man, put on a good performance, man, for the fans, man. Like my last fight that I had on, like when I beat Santos, there was a guy I faced, his guy, his name was Santos. And like he was very, 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 very he was very difficult. Um he will switch a lot, and that's one of the things I've learned too. I taught myself how to become a switch hitter. um I watched a lot of Terrence Crawford and a lot of Marvis Hagler. They were switch hitters, and Mike Tyson was a switch hitter too, with those that don't know about that Mike Tyson was a switch hitter. So when I fought against Santos, when he would switch, I would switch, and like I would beat him in with this right here, and with my athleticism. So when I beat him, that was like the greatest thing right there for me, when I won that victory. So, but every fight that I have, and when I win, is always my greatest victory.
Hook, uppercut, overhand, jab. Which punch do you enjoy throwing the most?
Which punch that I enjoyed the most? The
Yes.
most, the most punches that I enjoyed the most. I have to say, because it's just so many of them that I have, but the most ones that I have to say is pretty much of course the jab. I have a very very fast jab, but I would have to say when I come when I come in with the left, it looks like I'm coming to the body, but then I fake and I come in up top. So that's the one. And I have to say, pull counter is my favorite one. I love doing that. When you throw, I pull back and I come. So that's my favorite one. That's my favorite punch I like to do. The pull counter. I know those who are gonna be watching is gonna want to study that. Whoever gonna be want to face me, whatever. But like I said, I got so many different styles in my bag. But those are the ones. One of the punches I love to do. The pull counter.
Wow. Jab is the king of blows. You can win the fight with one jab.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
front hand is all in
yeah,
the boxing.
yeah. That's
He
right.
won the war with his front hand and won the fight.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The jab is always the key to everything, and then you don't really see boxers today. Don't don't you don't really see boxers today using the fundamentals. You have to have the fundamentals. The jab is the number one key that they teach you in the amateur days. Use your jab. You need to use your jab. If you get tired, rest with your jab. So that's one of the things that me and my coach will always work on is the jab. The jab is the key thing. You got to jab, because I mean, you can win. I mean, to be honest, you can win the fight with your jab. If you watch Floyd Mayweather when he fought against Maidana in the first Maidana fight, when he first came out the first round, he didn't use all of his tools. Only thing he watched, if you watch, the only thing he only did was his jab throughout the whole first round. He just kept jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. That's all he did. He'll jab the top, jab the body. If he saw an opening, he'll get it. That's all he ever did was jab. And then, of course, the later rounds, he mixed it up and used adjustments because Floyd Mayweather was very big on making adjustments. But if you watch that first fight, when he came out fight Maidana, the first round, that's all he did was just throw jabs. People got to understand, you have to use your jab. Work with your jab. Your jab is the key. If you watch Devin Haney is one of the best jabs, had one of the best jabs in today's time, in today's sport. You got to use your jab. Lennox Lewis had a good jab. Larry Holmes had a good jab. Now that's the one that everybody should be watching is Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes had a good jab. Um, yeah, the jab is the key.
Oh, I I know Vladimir Klitschko. He has been boxing with one jab for his entire career. He
Yeah,
was the world champion at the expense of the jab for 11
yeah,
years.
yeah, yep, yep, exactly, exactly.
What part of your game have you worked hardest to improve?
I have to say the game I worked on my hard the my game I worked on the hardest was my defense. Floyd Mayweather Sr. have always told Floyd, the less you get hit, the more you last long in the game of boxing. It's not cool to take punishments, which is not. So with me, the game I worked on the hardest was my defense. I have to make sure that my defense is sharp. Of course, my offense is going to be good, but my defense need to be sharper. So that's the number one thing I learned. Well, not learned, but that's the one thing that I worked on the most was my defense and my conditioning. I used to run track back when I was 10 years old. So I have a very, very good track and field background as well. I ran while I was in high school and I ran while I was in college. So my conditioning, I've always made sure that it was always up to uh highest level. So my defense and my conditioning, so I can last long in that ring.
Uh, Head movement, shoulder roll, Philadelphia sink.
Yeah, 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 right, exactly. Like right, the Philadelphia Shield, yeah, exactly, which worked for me. I mean, I've always used the Philadelphia Shield, but my coach always would tell me once again, make adjustments. You don't always have to use the Philly Shield. Use the high guard. Use the peekaboo. Yeah,
How important is footwork in your overall style?
footwork is very, very important. Footwork is very, very important. You got to have good footwork. If you watch all the guys today, they had good footwork, such as from Muhammad Ali, he had very good footwork. Sugar Ray Robinson, he had good footwork. Pernell Whitaker, he had good footwork. Hector Camacho, he had good footwork. Floyd Mayweather, he had good footwork. I will study and watch these guys on their footwork. These guys had very, very good. Oh, you can't forget Rigondeaux. He had good footwork. Terrence Crawford had good footwork. So if you watch these guys and study their footwork, put it into your arsenal, and that's what I did. Most important thing for me was footwork. When I train on the sand, and I would work things on the sand. I would do wind sprints, I would do cardio work, I would do bear crawl, things that would help work with the footwork. I would work on the track. I would do hurdles, so that way you can have that quick twitch. So footwork is very, very, very important in the sport of boxing. You got to have good footwork. You can't be stationed. You can't be just sit there and be a stationary. You got to use footwork. Stay on the balls of your foot. You can't be a flat-footed fighter. You gotta you gotta use the balls of your foot so that way you can come off on your punches. And that's one of the things that we work on. Not being a flat-footed fighter, always stay on your toes. So that's one of the things, man, that I work on. So footwork is very, very, very important in the sport of boxing.
100%. You are right. By the way, Saul Canelo Alvarez has a bad footwork. Bad
Yeah,
footwork. And
yeah,
he,
yeah.
and he lost to Bivol, Floyd, and Crawford.
Yeah, yeah. He did. He did. He did. He lost to Bivol. He lost to Crawford. He lost to Floyd. Because if you
Also, in
even
my opinion, also Erislandy Lara.
yeah, right. Exactly. And like if you listen to Canelo say he don't like facing against guys, man, that moves around. Basically what he really want to say is that he don't like facing against guys who are athletic, that know how to box. He'd rather just have you just sit there in the pocket and he just pound on you. I mean, that's not always going to work, man, with a guy who got good footwork. And Canelo doesn't really have good footwork. He's most so flat-footed. If you really watch him, you don't really see him dancing around the ring or using the ring uh generalship. It's more so just coming at you. So yeah, he learned a lot though in that Floyd Mayweather fight though. He did. I would say that. But when it comes to footwork, it's like, yeah, you got to work on it.
I'm in shock. I have never seen them work so hard in the gym like you. What does a typical training day look like for you?
A typical training day for me is to get some rest. Make sure I get plenty of good rest. Then after that, I get up and I hit the gym like around 3 o'clock. Well, coach want us to well, he want me to get there at 3:30, but I'm so dedicated. I get there early. I get there at 3 o'clock. Stretch. Uh, Watch a little bit of Jerron Ennis. Watch a little bit of Devin Haney on my YouTube while I'm wrapping my hands. Then after that, I shadow box, man, for 1 round. After I'm done with my shadow boxing for 1 round, I get the jump rope. I jump rope for 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Then after that, put my gloves on. And once I put my gloves on, then I hit the heavy bag. Uh, it varies with the tip. It varies, man, with my gym training. So some days we'll work on the heavy bag, some days work on the speed bag. Every Wednesday we spar. Some Wednesdays we spar to the body because a lot of people don't really go to the body as today, except for Keyshawn Davis. Uh, so there's a lot of things that we work on, like when we go to the gym, but every day is always something new.
How much time do you spend studying opponents? Do you study your opponents or coach?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I study my opponents. Sometimes what I do, if I find out that you're having a fight, and if I know I'm gonna face you, I will go watch you fight in person. So that way I can study you. I'm not just there for the, enjoyment and anything like that. I'm really there to work. So I'm there watching you while I'm studying you so I can see what makes you feel uncomfortable. I'll watch you to see what you like to throw, what's your favorite punches. Um, what makes you, I look for the little key things when I watch you in person. So it's cool to watch a fighter on video, but for me, I like watching you in person so that way I can get the full glimpse of what I'm getting myself into, and I vision myself in that ring with you. So yeah, I do study my opponents.
You do everything to make you have enough for all the rounds. You are cardio machine. You are beaten on the body and you can withstand the blows because you have good endurance. You have good stamina.
Yeah,
What role does conditioning play in your preparation?
the condition that, well, like I said before, I have a good track and field background. I ran track mostly half my life, cross country, everything. So the conditioning is within me, you know. But the conditioning workouts that I usually do is on the track, 800 breakdowns, um, cross country. Uh, I run at the park, road work. I get up at like 1 in the morning. This morning, I got up and I went to jog 1 mile at 1:30 in the morning. So I like to run where everybody's in the house sleep. Sometimes I like to run at night. My conditioning is it's weird, but it helps for me. Um, a little bit of light weights here and there, not too much, but more so just running. A lot of wind sprints. So that what helps me with my conditioning.
Oh, by the way, Canelo Alvarez has a bad cardio.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell he does too. He try not to show it in his fights, but you can tell he does. So in the later rounds, you can tell. You can tell, like in the Bivol fight, you can tell he was getting tired because I've noticed when he leaned against the ropes and when he tell you like this, means he's tired. He ain't trying to do too much. You gotta be a perfectionist to know when somebody's tired.
40 years old Triple G fought on equal terms with him.
Yeah, right.
Who has been the toughest sparring partner you have ever shared the ring with? Name someone one.
The toughest sparring partner or the toughest opponent I have?
The toughest sparring partner.
Oh, the toughest sparring partner. Well, I have to say the toughest one. I have to say against this guy when I fought Diego. Yeah, um, he's with the Zone with Eddie Hearn, and like he too was about to be professional. And like when I first sparred him, he taught me a lot. He was very strong. He was very tall, and he was a very, very, very strong guy. So when I went against Diego in the sparring session, he was just throwing them right hooks at me. He was throwing like those body shots at me. He was just a magnificent fighter, and like I learned a lot in that sparring session that we had. So when I went against Diego, he put on a very, very, very good sparring session for me, to where I took with me and I learned a lot to this day.
And now we will talk about your time, start time, career development, Premier Fight Club. What has your experience been like fighting under Premier Fight Club?
Oh, wow, my experience, man, has been pretty good, real good. Um, it's been very, 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 very high. Been very, very good for me, and like it's been very, very magnificent. I have nothing but good things to say about that. Spiritually, um, very competitive. It just taught me a lot. So I have to say nothing but good things about that. So the Fight Club, it's been magnificent, and it's like it's like a brotherhood, and that's what I like about it.
How has Premier Fight Club helped your development as a professional boxer?
It helped me as a professional boxer. It helped me to grow more mature. It helped me to like stay ready at all times. It helped me, pick some good opponents to fight with. And it also helped me, man. And I'm gonna tell you too, it also helped me, man, to become bigger now. It helped me reach a good level of star status since I've been with them. So you know, I have nothing but good things to say about Premier.
Wow, I like this platform, Premier Fighting Club. She
Yeah.
she develops like Zufa.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's right. You're right.
What opportunities has being part of that platform created for you?
A lot of opportunities, a lot of opportunities open up a lot of good doors for me to where everybody want to fight me now. Everybody, man, want to say, I want to fight Keith, yeah, like I want to fight that guy, I want to get in the ring with Keith. I want to get in the ring with that dude, So, it just brought a lot of good opportunities for me to where now everybody want to fight me now, So, and that's what I want, People, man, like to, bring on the noise, You watch me, you see what I do, and it just opened up a lot of doors for me to where now everybody, man, want to fight me. Everybody, man, want to rematch me. I mean, it just brought in a lot of good opportunities for me.
In my opinion, Premier Fight Club and Zufa will compete in 2-3 years.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely, because it's growing strong. Yeah, it's growing strong, and most definitely anything is possible. So yeah, I can see that happening.
How important is having a strong team around you?
It's very important. It's very important to have a strong team. You got to have a strong team around you. You got to have a strong team. Like like when I came up with the amateurs, I kept my I kept my team. And when you get into boxing, of course, other other people in boxing may want you to switch up your team, but with me, I'm very loyal. I don't believe in switch up your team. We ride together. We're gonna come out this thing together. So I keep the right people around me, and that's the most important thing that you want to have as a fighter. Keep the right people around you to keep you sharp and focused, and that's what I have. So I have a very very good team around me.
For which I respect you, you don't break down, no matter how difficult it is. Dark times.
Yeah.
How do you stay focused during difficult periods in your career, dark times?
Oh wow! By keeping the faith, you got to keep the faith in the universe. I know a lot of people don't really preach about that, but you got to have that faith. You got to have the faith, man, up in the universe. When dark times come, it's gonna happen. That happens to everybody. That's part of life. So of course you're gonna have all kind of dark times, but that's okay because it's gonna help you stronger. It's gonna help you more hungrier, and it's gonna make you more determined, and it's gonna make you even much more hungrier and unstoppable as possible. But you got to have dark times. I got to have dark times. I need dark times to keep me on my toes. I don't want, yes, I want good times, but I more so want the dark times. So that way I can stay focused and to keep me going. It will keep me stronger within my spirit, and it will also keep me strong when I'm in that boxing gym. At least I know I have a goal to reach when I go through dark times.
Wow, dark times have made you stronger.
Yeah.
Uh, Friedrich, Friedrich Nietzsche, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
Makes you stronger. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, whatever dark times you facing, well, because it happens to the best of us. I don't care who you are. You're gonna go through dark times. And when it does, try not to let it defeat you. It'll break you down for a minute, but don't stay down. Keep going, and you have to find a way to get out of that dark time. Me was boxing, boxing was my way of getting out of a dark time for me. If I'm going through something dark, I'll take myself in that boxing gym, even when I'm not scheduled to be there to the to go to the gym. I'll go there anyway because that's my safe haven spot. That's my peace, the boxing gym.
By the way, Friedrich Nietzsche is a legendary man. Nietzsche,
Yeah,
legendary man, the father
yeah,
of psychology.
yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, have you ever considered walking away from boxing? If so, what kept you going?
No, I never considered men walking away from boxing. That's never been across my mind. No, and then what makes me keeps going is the people. It's always good to have people come up to you saying like when the next fight going to be. It's always good to people to come up to you and say, "Hey, I want to be there at your next fight." And it's also good to have your family talk about you around the circle, saying how good you are. So that keeps me going. So I never had no doubt in my mind to stop boxing at all. That never crossed my mind. Of course, you can't box forever, and I do get that. But as of now, I don't see myself stopping no time soon.
What has been the biggest obstacle you have overcome in your boxing journey?
The biggest obstacle that I have to face to overcome it,
Yeah.
I would say the biggest obstacle that I had to like overcome was the business side of it. Of course, the business side of boxing is going to be very fickle because of course, you want to, make money and everything like that. But I would say, the money and everything is going to be there, but I have to say it's the business side. So the business side of it, I had to get over the hump, and it was very, very difficult at times to get over that obstacle because you got fighters, man, that want to fight, but then again they don't want to fight, and then but then they want this, they want that, and too many stipulations. So, but once you come over that obstacle, it becomes a lot more easier down the road.
What qualities do you value most in a coach?
The value in the coach, I would say trust. Yeah, trust and loyalty. I would say that.
John Cena, hustle, loyalty, respect.
That's right. All in one. Yeah, all in one. That's right.
What achievement are you most proud of so far?
The most achievement that I'm proud of so far is the fans. That's my achievement. The fans. Everybody want to look and see what you're going to do next. You're becoming an inspirational, becoming more inspiring. That's the achievement right there. I got people asking me how to throw a jab. I got people asking me, about nerves and everything like that. That's how you know that you have made a good impact on somebody's life who's willing to get into boxing. So I have to say those are my biggest achievement.
My friend, you have already interrupted so many boxers, so many outstanding achievements, so many won. What keeps you hungry to improve every single day?
What keeps me hungry to prove every single day is for one, is my daughter, and number two is that I just love the sport. I love the sport, and I have to say this too. Um, watching guys like Kobe, Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant, he had that same type of hunger too. So like whenever I'm going through YouTube and wherever Kobe passed my mind, I'll look at his highlights. I will look at his philosophy, and then that would keep me hungry. Him and Bruce Lee. So I'll watch those guys, and that would keep me hungry to go every single day.
And in the final part of our interview, I wanted to talk about your future goals and personal life. What
Okay.
are your goals for the next 2 years?
My next goal for the next 2 years is to become world champion. Become world champion. Those are my next goals, man, for the next 2 years. Become world champion and become much more known around the boxing circuit. That's my those are my goals.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself 5 years, coaching, teaching. I think I'm a real good teacher. I see myself, yeah, pretty much teaching, because everybody want to know how to box. Everybody want to know how to box because boxing is so universal now. So everybody want to know how to box. And I'm a good teacher when it comes to that. So I see myself in the next five, in the future, being a good teacher.
Do you believe you have what it takes to become an undisputed champion?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. With the right opportunity, I do see myself, man, becoming that. I do. I have the same determination as Kobe and Floyd and Terrence. I have the same compassion. I have the same discipline. I have the same motivation. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't involve myself in any uh wrong activities. Uh, eh, yeah. So I do see myself becoming as that. I'm very dedicated, I'm very determined, and I have that will to win, and I have that will to just to find the loopholes to make it out. So I do, yeah.
Oh, I I know that Zufa promotion has already had world champions. There are world champions in your organization, Premier Boxing Club. Which current world champion would you most like to face one day?
Well, I was just say this, don't matter to me. Don't matter to me. Whoever come knocking on my door, I'll be more than happy to fight them. Don't matter to me. I fight at 154. So anybody from 154, man, want to face me or whatever, I'll be more than happy, man, to take on that challenge. It's not gonna be very easy fighting against me, but I would take on any challenge who's willing to step up to the plate to fight me.
You don't care who you hit.
I really don't, I really don't, long as, man, you come with your A game and I'm gonna come in my A plus 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 game, it's gonna be a real good fight and it's gonna be very, very fun. I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it beating whoever comes knocking on my door.
If you could share the ring with any boxer from history, who would it be and why?
Willie Pep, yeah, Willie Pep. I would say him because he was a very small guy, and I can tell there's a lot of stuff you can learn from Willie Pep. The things that he'll do in the ring, and how he'll bring that old school type of style. That a lot of people is missing out today. I would like to share a ring with Willie Pep. And there's so many I would love to share a ring with, man. Willie Pep, Pernell Whitaker. I would love to share a ring with Terrence Crawford. Oh man, I would love to share a ring with those type of guys, because them type of guys right there will show you what it's like to box and become a world champion.
Outside of boxing, what are your biggest interests and hobbies?
My biggest interest in hobbies, I would say, I love going to the movies. I love going to the movies, sitting there sit there watch a good movie. I love music. Whenever I want to get away from the world, I like to sit back in my headphones and just meditate, escape from the world, listen to music. Those are one of my hobbies. And then too, I like being around people who like to have fun. So like anywhere that's that's a good, nice little function that everybody's there having a good time. I like to go have a good time. So those one of my hobbies right there.
You have very little time to rest. You are always in the boxing gym.
Yeah.
But how do you spend time with family and friends when you are not training. Little time.
Oh wow, that's easy, man. During the weekends. Yeah, during the weekends, on the weekends, when I'm free, I will spend time with family, friends, and like I will go ahead, man, and get that time in to spend with them, on the weekend. Because I mean during the week I'm busy, of course, but when the weekend come, that's when I know that it's family time. So you got to put that work. You can not only put that work in the boxing gym, but you have to put that work in with your family, because your family is there through thick and thin. So you got to have that bonding time with your family.
What message would you like to send to young fighters chasing their dreams?
When things get tough, do not get discouraged. Keep going, keep moving forward. And if anybody not motivating you, find within your spirit to motivate yourself. And if not, then whoever your favorite boxer is or your favorite athlete is, look at them and see what they're doing and try to get motivation off of them. So that's what I would say. Stay motivated and you have to stay positive. Don't be negative. Because if you speak negative, your body listens to your negativity and it feeds off the negative to where you don't want to do anything else. So you have to speak positive. Once you speak positive, your body listens. So I would say to the fighters out there who are coming up, who want to, become number one and become champion, is stay positive, stay grounded, stay away from the bad news, stay away from bad people, stay away, man, from bad substance. Don't get involved with the wrong crowd and keep going. And most importantly, stay focused. Yeah, there's gonna be some temptations out there. That's everything. We're all gonna get sucked in some type of temptation, but don't let the temptation, man, defeat you or bring you down. So keep going and defeat it. That's I know it's a little bit much to say, but that's what I would say.
I'm very happy to have a conversation with such a legendary boxer as you. You said so many useful things for young boxers.
Yeah.
What do you want fans to remember most about Kid Cooper Jr.?
That he was very exciting. He was a very, very exciting fighter and he was crazy. He was crazy, and then he was very, very exciting, and I love watching him. So yeah, that's what I want fans to remember me as.
Finally, what message would you like to give to everyone supporting your journey around the world?
Is thank you, man, for watching me. Thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity to, for you to see me and just keep riding with me, keep walking in the faith with me. And I would just say, man, just continue, man, to just yeah, just walking this journey with me as I go along.
Wow. As Anatoly Lomachenko Sr., Papachenko said,
Yeah,
you may not be a world champion, but you are obliged to be a person. You are a real person. I
yeah,
respect you.
yeah.
Kid,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much.
Kid, thank you for taking the time to join my YouTube channel, Boxing on Sundays. I
Hey, thank
wish
you.
you continued success, good health, and many great victories ahead. May your hard work lead you to the biggest stages in boxing, and we look forward to following your journey in the years to come. I
Yeah,
wish
well,
you, I wish you to become world champion, Premier Boxing Club, world champion, Zufa Promotions, and others on organization. You are the
yes.
future of boxing. Thank you so much.
And thank you, man, for giving me the time to be on your platform. And thank you so much. And I want to say thank you and like keep growing with your platform. keep inspiring, and just keep on, man, giving the world, man, what you are destined to do. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Stay in touch.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
Goodbye. Good luck.
All right. Yeah, thank you. You too.